people who had actually obtained this form, filled the form, they refused to accept the form from them to process it, because the party had already, before the election, had already made up their mind, on who to fill those vacant positions.
Please let me quickly ask you: is there a criteria for collection of forms?
Well, let me react.
Because that might be the reason why they were rejected.
Let me quickly react generally to what has been put forward. First, the APC in Lagos State does not encourage caucuses, because caucuses breed tension. And they have openly declared they belong to a new Lagos movement as a caucus within the APC, which is an illegality.
So that's why they were rejected?
No.
Okay.
That's what I'm going there. I'm going to answer all the points.
Okay.
So I want to make that clear, that we do not encourage. When we were in ACN, before we got into APC, those of us who were leaders, beginning from Asiwaju Bola Ahmed Tinubu to the governor, to the state chairman and other leaders, we all signed a document to banish caucuses from the party so that we could have internal peace and internal democracy. So if they did not recognize that and participate in that movement, it's unfortunate. Now, the process of contesting during the primaries begins with looking at the advertisement by the national headquarters, how much you are to pay for what. If you wanted to be a delegate at the World Congress, pay 2,000 naira to the bank. The bank accounts and the names were advertised. If you wanted to be a ward officer, pay 10,000 naira. And so on, graduated up. You did not need to consult with anybody or get anybody's approval to go to the bank to pay that money. All you needed was to get a teller and come to the State Congress Committee. It was not the party leadership that conducted the congresses in Lagos State. We had a State Congress Committee that was set up by Abuja, headed by Dr. Garba Abari, sent down to come and conduct it. Approach them, show them the teller, they see the amount, to give you a form. The forms were, in actual fact, as at yesterday before I left office, there were a pack of about 5,000 unused nomination forms, which were returned to Abuja this morning, unused.
All right.
So issue of wanting to get a form and being denied is false.
Let me quickly ask you, sir, what reasons were you given when your or whoever's application was bounced?
I said, for instance, one of our members who went there was told that the party he wanted, the position he wanted has been zoned, to another local government, and said, okay. Then another person who actually obtained the form, went to the secretariat to return the form that he has filled and was rejected.
What day?
What was the
day and what time?
Okay.
After the closing date?
No, before the closing date.
What was the closing date?
That was the closing date was Thursday, I think.
It was for Thursday.
Thursday.
What time?
Because
even on Friday, as at 4 p.m., this committee was still accepting forms, provided you were not asking on Friday that you wanted to collect a form.
No.
If you had paid by Thursday and you collected your form on Thursday, you were allowed to submit it up to 12 midnight of Friday. So that is not true. And then let me
closed on Thursday.
Buying of forms, payments in the bank to collect forms, because the form. If you collected a form, you needed to be nominated for positions. If you wanted to contest for the position of a state chairman, you needed to be nominated by one person from each of the 57 local government.
We are talking of the same thing here.
So
that is your own experience, and we are also sharing our experience.
I'm trying to provide information, because this forum is
we are aware.
Now, the constitution of the party prescribes in section 20 that at every congress, for every position, there must be in the world, at the world level, it must be by open secret ballot. That's option A4, or option A4.
Yeah.
Option A4. Then subsequently at the LGA and at the state, by open secret ballot. The Constitution also says if you if there are many candidates for a certain position, it was allowed for the candidates to come together to agree to step down for one another. That's after they have become aspirants or become aspirants, paid the nomination fees and everything, completed the forms and submitted. They could come together to now say, look, let's all support one person. If that was it, then that person could be returned unopposed. But if 30 people out of 40, for example, agree to harmonize and support one candidate, and the 48th candidate insists that he wants to contest, once he shows up at the Congress venue and they announce the name of Mr. AYZ, is candidate for the position of XYZ or for APC, any other candidate, and somebody steps up to say, yes, I'm also contesting, I have my form there, then they proceed to Congress to direct election. That is the constitution of the party. And then also the constitution encourages zoning of positions. There, for example, at the state congress, there were only about 40 positions, 57 local governments. And then there are 3 senatorial divisions in Lagos State. In each senatorial division in this Lagos West, you have 28 local governments. In Lagos East, you have 14. Lagos Central, you have 15. Now, it is not possible for every local government area to sponsor one candidate and get a position. And if the party is not careful, a local government could corner 10 of those positions and then leave numerous other local governments without representatives in the exco. So it is a duty of everybody, not just leadership, to ensure that as many local governments as possible are represented in the exco. The 3 senatorial districts must be represented. And then even within each senatorial district, like look at Badagry axis, you look at Badagry Central, Badagry West, Ologunde local government. At least you make sure that at least those 3 local governments that are united, that used to be one Badagry local government before, should be represented by at least one person. So a lot of calculation goes into all these things. And so when you talk of zoning, yes, the constitution allows it to make sure that positions are spread. You don't have all the officers coming from one local government or coming from one senatorial district. All these things interplay to ensure that we have internal peace in a democratic manner.
Okay, thank you very much. Let me move very quickly because of the limited time. Let me bring on a statement that you, as the president of the group, New Lagos Movement. Before I even ask that question, how do you respond to the state vice chairman's declaration of your group as an illegality within the party, that it is illegal to have a caucus or to have a grouping within a political party?
We have not declared ourselves a caucus.
Okay.
But the truth of the matter is that we know on ground there are several caucuses in the APC.
Let me ask you quickly, sorry.
Yeah.
Well, what is this new movement trying to achieve?
New Lagos Movement is a body of professionals
in politics.
And what the major intent is to monitor and activate the interest of the larger Nigerian people in politics, especially the professionals.
And none of your members were allowed into...
None.
None?
And
I'm sure they didn't submit nomination.
let me land, sir. Let me land.
No.
Let me land.
Let's
Let's talk about this caucus
If you
thing.
did, and one of you showed up, for example, when they started conducting the state congresses last Saturday, it started with the position of state chairman. When his name was read, supporters were called for.
Soya Olu took a form there and he was rejected.
Listen,
Can we respond?
If that person stood up to say he was a candidate, it was announced that.
Let us respond
Okay.
to you. We belong to the same party.
Yes.
And we are not quarreling. We are not quarreling. What I am trying to say here is this: if you're talking about caucuses being illegal, we know what is on ground, but we also know, as a matter of